Interested in running Linux Mint on your PC, but don't want to lose Windows 10 or your personal files? You're in luck, because you can install them side by side. It's called dual booting, and here's how to do it.
Free your mind.
Whether you're starting your journey into the world of free software, or simply installing a new Linux distro, this tutorial offers easy-to-understand, step-by-step instructions for installing the Linux Mint 18.2 operating system, alongside a Windows 10 installation. The installation method in this video is typically referred to as dual booting, meaning that when you turn on your PC, you will be able to choose between two operating systems that are both installed on your hard drive when your PC starts. These are the 5 steps involved, which we will cover in greater detail. 1. Download the Linux Mint operating system in an ISO file format from Linux Mint's website. 2. Download Rufus, a program for creating bootable USB flash drives. 3. Use Rufus to create a bootable USB flash drive and copy Linux Mint onto it. 4. Restart your PC and load Linux Mint from your USB flash drive. 5. Run the Mint installation wizard to install Linux Mint 18.2 alongside Windows 10, giving you the best of both worlds. You can pause this video at any time if you need to. Alright, let's get started with step 1. Download the Linux Mint operating system in an ISO file format from Linux Mint's website. So here we are at the Windows 10 default desktop. The first thing you'll want to do is open up a web browser. Because Microsoft Edge is installed by default, we will use that in this video, but this will work with any web browser. Once the browser is loaded, the first thing we will do is download a program called Deluge. Deluge is an open-source BitTorrent application. Its purpose is to use the torrent protocol to download large-size files quickly without errors. We prefer this method because downloading large files straight from a web browser can sometimes incur lost or incomplete data packages, and sometimes programs won't work right because of this. Using torrents ensures that the data is verified completely before the download is considered successful. It does add an extra step, but it really is worth the peace of mind that there won't be any issues with your download. To download Deluge, we will need to go to deluge-torrent.org. Once the website is loaded, we will need to click on Download. And then from the Downloads page, we will scroll down to Microsoft Windows and choose the link that says XP Vista 7 through 10. This will take you to Deluge's download page that shows all of the versions that they have built. You'll want to choose the download link that is right under the link that says Parent Directory. This will be the latest version of Deluge that you can install onto a Windows system. Make sure that the ending file ends in .exe. Once you've clicked that, Microsoft Edge will come up with a dialog box at the bottom that asks if you want to run, save, or cancel. We will want to save. When the download is complete, Windows Edge will say that it has finished downloading. We can then conveniently choose Run at the bottom of the browser window. This will start the setup program to install Deluge on your computer. A Windows security prompt will appear asking if you want to run this setup program. Let's click Yes. Now we will quickly get through the setup wizard to install Deluge so we can start downloading the ISO image. First, we will click on Next. Then we will agree to the license terms by clicking I agree. The installer will give us the option to choose the components we want to install. You can simply click Next. Lastly, the installer will want to choose the destination folder. The default is more than fine. You can also click Next. And finally, click on Install. The installation process will likely take under a minute. You will know it's complete by the word Completed at the bottom of the dialog screen. Once it's completed, you can simply click Next. The installer will ask if you want to install an optional additional package. This is not needed for the program to run, so we are going to click No. This will save us time by not installing another program. To open Deluge, you will go to the Start menu and scroll down to the applications under D. Then click on the Deluge folder, and then finally the Deluge program, which looks like a teardrop. Windows Firewall will appear the first time that you run the program, asking if you want to give it permission to access the network. You can click on Allow Access. This will give Deluge the ability to access the Linux Mint servers and download Linux Mint quicker. Now that we have Deluge ready to go, we are ready to download Linux Mint. The last part of step 1 is to go to Linux Mint's website. Click on the address bar in your browser and type in linuxmint.com. Once the website is loaded, you'll need to hover your mouse over the download option and click Linux Mint 18.2. From there, you will select the option to the right of the word cinnamon and click on 64-bit. Lastly, move your mouse to the torrent field and click on the word torrent. Microsoft Edge will open up a save dialog box at the bottom, asking what you want to do with the torrent file. We can conveniently choose Open from Microsoft Edge, and Windows will open it straight in Deluge. The Deluge window will come into focus, and you will see a new window appear, with the option to download the Linux Mint ISO file. We're going to click the button at the bottom right that says Add. This is going to start the download process. The file size is about 1.6 gigabytes. Depending on the speed of your internet connection, the download can take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and a half or possibly even more. You'll know the download is complete when the progress bar in Deluge shows all the way to 100%. Once the Linux Mint download is complete, we can begin step 2. Download Rufus. Using your web browser, let's go to Rufus's website to download the program. Type in rufus.akeo.ie. Rufus is a program that will take the Linux Mint ISO image file that we downloaded in step 1 and put it onto a USB flash drive. It will then take that USB flash drive and make it bootable, meaning if it is plugged into a PC, that PC can boot the operating system that's directly installed on the USB flash drive without using your internal hard drive or affecting any of your personal data. Before starting Rufus, make sure that you have your USB flash drive already inserted into one of the USB ports on your computer. Once Rufus's website is loaded, all you'll have to do is scroll down and go to the download section. From there, you can click on the link under the last updated text. This will reflect the latest version of Rufus that is available for download. Click on the first link available under the download section, and then we're going to click on Run. A Windows security prompt will appear asking if we want to run Rufus. Let's click on Yes. The first question Rufus will ask is if we want to allow Rufus to check for program application updates online. This isn't necessary for what we're trying to do, so for now we'll just click on No. By default, Rufus should automatically detect the USB flash drive that you have plugged into your computer. It'll show up in the Device section. A good indicator that the device field is actually showing your flash drive is the size of the storage space to the right of the device name. This is usually measured in gigabytes. It should match the storage capacity of your USB flash drive. You can also check to make sure that the drive letter inside of the device field matches the drive letter in Windows Explorer in correspondence with your flash drive. If the letters are the same, then you're good to go. There are a few quick things that we have to change. First, we'll change the file system field by clicking on the drop-down box, and we'll change that to FAT32, which is the default setting. This is important because this is the file system that your computer can use to boot from the USB flash drive. Next, we're going to tell Rufus to use the Linux Mint ISO file. To do that, let's go down to the checkbox that says Create a bootable image using, and then a drop box that should say ISO image. If it doesn't say ISO image, click the drop-down box and change it to choose ISO image. Now let's click on the button to the right. This will let us choose the ISO image that we're going to use to create the bootable flash drive. By default, Windows should open up to your Downloads folder, which should already have the Linux Mint ISO image in it. If you need to locate the ISO image file, you can move your mouse to Downloads, and then left-click to open the contents of your Downloads folder. The file name will be titled Linux Mint 18.2 cinnamon 64-bit. Let's click on that file, and then click Open. We should now be ready to go. Take a moment to double check to make sure the flash drive doesn't have anything important that needs to be backed up. To start Rufus, you simply have to click Start at the bottom of the program. A window might appear saying that a syslinux download is required. If it does, go ahead and click Yes. This will download some necessary files in order to make the USB flash drive bootable. Once that's completed, you'll see a new window that's titled ISO Hybrid Image Detected. You'll want to make sure that we have selected Write in ISO Image Mode, which is the recommended setting, and then click OK. Lastly, you'll see a warning window pop up letting you know that Rufus is about to delete all of the data on your flash drive in order to reformat it and make it into a bootable flash drive. Take care in making sure that your data is already backed up and that there is nothing else important on this flash drive. Once you've done that, then click OK. Rufus will begin reformatting your flash drive, and then copy all of the Linux Mint operating system files onto it. This process can take a matter of minutes. Rufus will display some details below the green progress bar as it's copying the files over, letting you know which stage of the process it's at. You'll know Rufus has successfully copied over Linux Mint onto your USB flash drive when the progress bar is solid green from beginning to end and the word Ready shows up below it. Congratulations! We're ready to begin step 4. Now you'll want to close all of your open programs that are on your desktop, and then you'll want to restart your computer. Step 4. Use your PC's BIOS boot manager to load Linux Mint from the USB flash drive. Most desktop and laptop PCs today have a boot manager to let you choose which device you want to boot from, whether that be your computer's internal hard drive, a CD or DVD disc, or a USB flash drive. To access the boot manager, you'll have to press the right keyboard key before you see Windows loading. That is, before you see the Windows logo appear on your screen. The most common keyboard shortcuts to enter the boot manager in order of popularity are F12, Escape, F10, and F9. Try these one at a time, pressing one key on the keyboard repeatedly right after you power on your PC. If you see the Windows logo appear, you didn't press the key in time, or it wasn't the right key. No problem. Just wait for Windows to get to the login screen, and then restart your PC. And try again with a different keyboard key this time. Once you press the right key, you'll see a screen that looks like this. The appearance and layout might differ from PC to PC, but every boot manager will show a list of drives that your PC can boot from. If the USB flash drive containing Ubuntu is the only flash drive or external hard drive plugged into your PC, it should be fairly easy to spot. Look for any option that says USB in the title. This will likely be your USB flash drive. Use the up and down arrow keys to move the highlighted cursor over the USB boot option. and then press the Enter key. Your PC will now load Linux Mint and run it straight from your USB flash drive. This is a live working version of the same operating system that will be installed on your computer. This will even give you a chance to explore Linux Mint and try it out before you install it on your machine. When you see the Mint desktop, you're ready to begin step 5. Install Linux Mint. When you first load Linux Mint from the USB flash drive, you will be greeted with the Mint desktop, called the Cinnamon desktop. Windows users will recognize a lot of components as they look and behave very similarly to Windows 7 or Windows 10. There's a Start menu at the bottom, which has a list of the applications. There are desktop icons, and there is a system tray at the bottom right. Linux Mint has conveniently placed the installation wizard as a desktop icon. Let's double-click Install Linux Mint. The first thing you will see is the welcome screen, where you can choose your preferred language, and then click Continue. Under Preparing to install Linux Mint, there will be a checkbox with an option to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, Flash, MP3, and other media. This is not open source or free software, but it will give you the opportunity to play MP3 files, as well as have drivers available for Wi-Fi network cards and other components, which can be essential to running your system. We're going to check this box. You do have the option to not check it if you prefer, and to work exclusively in open source software. The choice is up to you. You can then click Continue. Next, you will choose the installation type. Linux Mint will already detect that your computer currently has Windows 10 on it, and will ask what you would like to do. The default selection is the one that we want to choose, which is Install Linux Mint alongside Windows 10. This is already selected, so we have nothing else we need to do here. The other installation types are for completely erasing your hard drive and installing Linux Mint, which, as it prompts, will delete all your programs, documents, photos, music, and any other files and operating systems. And the final option is something else, where you can create or resize the partitions yourself or choose multiple partitions for Linux Mint. This is typically reserved for more experienced users who are familiar with partitioning hard drives, as well as other configuration options. We're going to keep the default selection to install Linux Mint alongside Windows 10, and then click Continue. The last thing that we need to do is called allocating drive space. This is where we select the hard drive where Linux Mint will be installed, and where we tell the installation program how much free space to give each operating system. The default setup is to give the majority of space over to Windows 10, which is recognized by this area over here, and give the necessary space required to run Linux Mint over here. We can adjust how much space we want each operating system to have on the hard drive by moving the mouse over the sliding scale right here, and then click and holding the left click button, and then sliding your mouse to the left or to the right, which will adjust the storage space for each operating system. It's a good idea to reserve half of your hard drive space for Windows 10 and half of your hard drive space for Linux Mint. So we're going to adjust the slider until each amount of storage space for both operating systems is the same. This is ideal because it gives equal space to both operating systems so that you don't risk either of them running low on hard drive space. But you can set each storage space amount to whatever you prefer. Once you've adjusted the storage space to your liking and have things the way you want it, go ahead and click Install Now. The Mint Setup Wizard will confirm that you are okay with it making changes to your hard drive, as it will be modifying things to make room for Linux Mint. This is okay. Go ahead and click Continue. And one last time, Linux Mint will confirm that you are alright with it making changes to the hard drive. It will let you know which hard drive it is making changes to, as well as the specific changes that are taking place. We're going to click Continue. Alright, Linux Mint is now installing on your machine. The installation will run in the background, and there are a few more things that you have to tell Linux Mint in order to fully set up your machine. The first thing you want to do is tell them where you are. This will help Linux Mint to detect the proper time for your time zone. If it doesn't have your location automatically selected, go ahead and left-click with your mouse and choose the location that you are at, and then click Continue. The next thing you'll want to choose is your keyboard layout. You have the option of choosing from several different languages in the left column, and then additional options on the right column. Go ahead and select your keyboard layout, and then click Continue. The last thing you'll want to do is fill in your name, give a name to your computer, and then choose a password. As you fill in your name, Linux Mint will automatically fill in the computer name and your username for you, but you can change these from the default if you prefer. And then finally, choose a password that you can use to log into your user account on Linux Mint, and then click Continue. And that's all. Linux Mint will finish installing and then you'll be ready to go. The Linux Mint development team has prepared a handy slideshow which can show you some of the features and benefits of Linux Mint, which you can browse while the system is installing. You can use your mouse to left-click on the right arrow button to switch between slides and check out some of the neat features on Mint while it's installing. When Linux Mint has successfully finished installing, the setup window will close and another window will open, letting you know the installation was a success. Congratulations! You have now successfully created a dual boot setup running Linux Mint and Windows 10, giving you the best of both worlds. Now that the installation is complete, you can choose Continue Testing to continue to try out Linux Mint from the USB flash drive, or you can click Restart Now to restart your computer. If you're ready to go, click on Restart Now. Before your machine restarts, Linux Mint will remind you to remove the installation medium and then press Enter. Make sure at this point that you remove the USB flash drive so your computer won't boot from it, and then press Enter. When you start your computer, you'll now be greeted with a new Windows screen. This is called a bootloader. By default, you have 9 seconds to make your selection, and then it will automatically boot into Linux Mint. The bootloader will let you choose which operating system you would like to run. You can use the up and down arrow keys to select Linux Mint, which is already highlighted at the top, or down to Windows 10, which is the option on the bottom. Advanced options and memory tests are additional features, but are not necessary for booting into an operating system. All you need to know is to boot to Linux Mint at the top, or Windows 10 at the bottom. If you choose Windows 10, your computer will boot up to Windows 10 as normal, and you'll be able to continue operations in Windows just like you did before. Let's move the highlight cursor up to Linux Mint 18.2 Cinnamon 64-bit, and press the Enter key to boot into Linux Mint for the first time. Once Linux Mint is loaded, you will see the login screen. It will show your computer name, your username, and the field to put in your password and log into Linux Mint. Let's put in your password now and check it out. Once you've logged in, Linux Mint will load the Cinnamon desktop. It will give you a welcome screen with a little bit of handy documentation as well as information about how to use Linux Mint. You've now successfully created a dual boot installation on your computer. If you found this video helpful, please leave us a like, and feel free to subscribe to get more videos on Linux and free software. If you're curious about other distributions of Linux, feel free to check out our video on the top Linux distros of 2017. It's a great video overviewing the features and benefits of each major popular Linux distro. Thanks for watching. Take care, and stay free.